looks like I'm black. Just play my normal opening. And today we're going to continue with making strong groups. And just to clarify a little bit, the goal is not really to win. It's just to learn and understand weak groups. And a lot of people don't really understand what a weak group is. So to really understand it, you need to start over defending. And then as you over defend and you get to where nothing dies, then you can start to, like, instead of adding this stone, you can take away a stone. And then you can really start to see what makes something strong and what makes something weak. Yep, he goes here. We'll just take the corner. Just very strong groups. Okay, so now everything is pretty strong. If he plays here, there is like some weaknesses here, so we'll just add another base, just keep extending, making sure everything stays connected. Seems like he's doing the same. Okay, so now everything's pretty strong. And this is probably the widest side, so we can probably play on this side, but we don't want to go too far because we don't want a weak group getting cut off, so we'll try playing this close. He can still jump in here, but it's not as likely as if we were to play all the way over here, and then immediately it would just get cut off. Okay, so he extends 2, and then we're just going to jump, because we're making this stone a little bit stronger. We're making it less likely they're going to jump in here. We'll just keep going, because we're making more here than what he's making here, because here he still needs to add another stone. But yeah, this is a 1 Dawn Fox. I ranked up the last game we played. And until this move, I was actually impressed because he actually was playing pretty solid. But now he jumps in. So now we want to try and keep everything connected. So we have to try to find the best move for that. So if we play on this side or something over here, we stop him from attaching and cutting this in half. But then he can jump over here, which is cutting off these. Which sometimes you can't really stop both, but I think something like this works best because it's connecting this stone. And if he does try and jump here, then there's at least a cut or something we can use to try and attack. And here we just want to stay connected. Okay, so he's trying very hard to separate us, but we just gotta stay strong. And he tries to connect. So here we can try to connect under, or we can try and connect on top. Connecting under doesn't seem like it works. I think he can just block here, and if we go up, he connects. If we play here, he goes here. We can Hane, capture, connect. Our corner gets a little bit damaged. So trying to connect on top is probably a little bit better. And get rid of some peeps and make our group stronger at the same time. So we'll just go ahead and defend. Okay, and here we can defend while putting some pressure on his group. So he's going to connect, but we don't really need to kill this group. Okay, so he's still trying to connect. Don't really want to get surrounded here, so I think we will jump. Because again, we're also still trying to connect or make our group stronger while he's connecting his weak group. Yep, so he tries to connect. We have a cutting point here, so I'm just going to add a move here to my weak group and try and fix that cutting point. Here, of course, we want to stay connected. He still has a cutting point he needs to worry about. Okay, so he tries to defend. I could try this one, which is a little bit better, but I want to leave behind a cutting point, so we're just going to connect solidly. And now it feels like he might need to add a move, which he does, which is good. And now later there's endgame. But now, since this fight is kind of over, we just need to look at our groups and see where we need to add. So this group and this group is probably our weakest group because this one's in the corner. It has plenty of room for eyes. Same with this one in the corner, plenty of room for eyes. Since these are our 2 weakest groups, I kind of want to try and connect them together. So I think I'll just jump here, which maybe he can poke through here. So maybe this wasn't the best move, but it should be okay. Okay, he defends. So there's that peep here. So we're just gonna, since we noticed it, we're just gonna go back and make sure we fix that peep. And then we're gonna go back to trying to connect our groups together. Okay, he jumps here. Either connection probably works, but this is the more direct one, so we'll do this one. And just by connecting here, we're getting some potential in the center. So yeah, he has to try and prevent that. And now all of our groups are connected. Nothing really to attack. All of his groups are pretty strong. So now I think we just can start endgame. So we can jump in here because we can reduce this area. Okay, he does that one. Not really sure. I think we'll push this way. So we do have to be worried about like a push and throw in. Okay, so yeah, this block's a little bit strange. So now if he goes here, throws in, there's a liberty here, so it doesn't work. So we can now jump in this way. And again, we're just trying to keep everything as connected as possible. So yeah, so we got more in-game. There's a little bit of a cut here. So I will try and stay even more connected. And then just big in-game moves. So this one's probably Sente. And then we can Hane connect. Okay, yep, defend the cut. And this was a bit nice of him because now we can kind of connect our groups together, which is making some more points on the side that we probably shouldn't have gotten. His group here is looking a little bit weak because he doesn't really have eyes. Like maybe he has one eye here, but if we can surround here, then maybe he has to worry about it. But for now, that's a lot of ifs. So we're just going to leave it alone and go back to just big in-game moves. He goes there. Okay, so just Hane. He probably should have Hane connected before the turn. Interesting. Okay, so we'll just keep taking the corner, stay connected. I think the corner was much bigger than this area. And now we have more in-game. So I think we can even do a monkey jump here. Not sure with all the throw-ins and stuff, but maybe we just push and Hane. He turns. Okay, so he's trying to turn this into points, but normally playing on the sides is worth a lot more than trying to get something in the center. So yeah, so we'll just keep doing that. He goes here, so there's a cutting point. We want to defend our cutting points. We want to try and find the best way to defend, but we can defend. So if I go here and he cuts, and here, he gets to Atari. So if I just go here and he cuts, I can just push. There's really not much he can do. So we'll do this one. And if that didn't work, then maybe we just defend directly. But the main thing is we want to just defend our cutting points. Okay, so he jumps in the center again. A little bit odd. Yep, and we'll just keep playing on the sides. Okay. And we'll push and Hane here. Because the monkey jump had a lot of like throw-ins and stuff, so definitely want to be a little bit careful with that. Okay, I'm not sure why this one. Because now we can play here. And yep, so this got reduced quite a bit. And he needs to add a move here. And then he didn't defend over here, and this time probably a small monkey jump. Because if we go here, he goes here, we back off, he blocks, we go here, and we lose Sente. And normally in in-game you want to keep Sente. Yeah, he blocks. All of the in-game seem done, so let's just look at some more weaknesses. Maybe there's an attach here or something, so we'll just defend that. I think we can Atari once, and then we just connect. There is an Atari, but we connect and everything should be fine. And then he has a cutting point that he needs to worry about. Okay, so he didn't fix it directly. He's aiming at a cut, and we're not going to be greedy and just cut and be like, okay, we'll kill you. We're just going to defend and stay connected. And then if he doesn't defend this cut, then later we might cut. Okay, but he does defend. little bit of a connection here. So again, we'll just stay connected, reduce this area a little bit, even though every group is pretty much strong and connected. But the point of this is to over defend, because if you do end up getting a weak group, when you were trying very, very, very hard to not get a weak group, then that means there's some issues you gotta look into and try and figure out. Here I messed up a little bit because there is a cut here, so I'm not staying connected, but it should be okay. After this, it looks like it's just lots of endgame, so we will just stay connected. Make a few points here and there. Don't let him capture. I don't think I messed up. So if we connect, he cuts Atari, he Hanes. It's 2 liberties, and he has 2, but we get to Atari, so we should be okay. And he goes there. So if we go here, we connect. He throws in. We capture. He Ataris. We connect. If he throws in, we have a free liberty. So we should be able to connect here. Okay, so we have some issues. We're just going to stay connected because we don't want to let anything get cut off. And yep, just keep connected. He can like play here and Atari, but then we just connect. I guess he's trying to turn this into points. We're already connected here. He has some liberty issues, so we'll Atari and connect. So that fixes our cutting points and issues. And then he has a double Atari. So he fixes that. And we want to reduce this area because we already did all the moves on the sides. But we don't want to just jump in all the way because then maybe he can cut us off. So we're just going to slowly reduce while staying connected. Yep, stay connected. Okay, he goes there. Slowly reduce. He makes a few points, but we also make a few points. Okay, we block. But yeah, this is definitely not the game I expected to play. On Fox, normally they don't defend so much, but shows that it works even when they defend. And he goes here. Yep, we'll just block. If he pushes through, there's some where he can like cut here, and then there's another Atari, and stones might die. But here we can just stay connected. And yep, we should be able to push here. And yeah, not really much left. Just small end game stuff. Yep, block here because there's still that cut there, and we get to make a point. Okay, so he's trying to cut this off, but all we got to do is stay connected. We can do the solid connect or the bamboo. Bamboo looks a little bit better because then we can play here and here, and then there's some Ataris here he has to worry about. But for now, there's some cutting points here, so we'll just defend. Okay, and then he defends. So that's kind of how the game should go: is you defend, they defend, you defend, they defend. But if you defend and then they don't defend, then that's when you can try and take advantage. But what most people do is they don't defend, and then they just try to attack and kill something, and then very bad things happen. Okay. But yeah, just small stuff from here. Okay, but yep, so I do win by 6 3/4 stones. Not sure what that is in Japanese counting. Hopefully this video helped. I might do a few more staying on this phase. Once I feel we've gone over it pretty well, then I'll move on to the next one. But hopefully you guys enjoy this, and I will see you guys next time.